Hi, I'm Lisa from Lori's Country Cottage. Welcome to How Tuesday. Today I'm going to show you how to make the Seams Too Easy Rag Quilt using jelly rolls. Here are the supplies for Seams Too Easy Rag Quilt. You'll need 2 jelly rolls. Mine are the same. I matched my fabric. Choose a thread that either contrasts or blends, depending on what you like. You'll need your wonder clips or pins, and then a nice big ruler. You know that the Big Easy 12.5 by 24.5 is my favorite big ruler now. So those are all the supplies that you need. Take your jelly rolls apart and match the fabrics into pairs. That way your quilt is the same on the front and the back. Take your paired up strips and lay them in the order that you like. Some of my fabrics were directional, so I made sure that they all faced up. Take your first 2 sets of strips, so there'll be 4 in total, and stitch them together with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I set up my Sew-Q laser at a 1/2 inch, and that way I could line my strip up all the way the length of my sewing table. Keep adding strips in the order you had them laid out. Keep one edge of the quilt even, so you'll be sewing one time with the smooth seam up, and the next time you add a strip, you'll have the raw edges up. Keeping one edge even is a little more tedious than just adding strips, but it'll keep your strips from warping. Once you've sewn all your strips together, trim off your even edge. Now measure across your quilt from the even edge to the other edge. You can trim it at 40 inches if you like. I left mine as wide as I could. It was about 42 inches. Now that it's all trimmed up, we need to stitch around the whole quilt with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I pressed my raw edge seams open as I sewed. Make sure you stitch along the bottom and the top of the quilt as well. Here's the quilt with the smooth side up, and here it is with the raw edges up. Now it's time to snip those raw edges. Use your spring-loaded rag quilt scissors and snip all the seams, 1/4 to a 1/2 inch. Don't forget to do the whole perimeter of the quilt as well. I don't measure, I just snipped along. If you accidentally snip one of your seam lines, go back and stitch it up so it doesn't come out when you wash. Here's the already washed rag quilt. It bloomed up beautifully. Refer to the pattern for instructions on washing and drying your quilt. Here's the finished quilt on display. Thank you for joining me for How Tuesday. Although I used cotton jelly rolls for my Seams Too Easy Rag Quilt, you can use flannel and be just as successful. And don't forget to take care of your washer and your dryer when you're washing and drying a rag quilt. Use the pillowcase and make sure to clean that lint trap. Thanks for joining me.